Thank you. Carol McGarry, I live on Edmonds Road. And Christine, you referred to the one plan that mentions this as a developable property, but the open space and recreation plan says that it wants to identify open space and recreation assets and places that have ecological, recreational, civic, and/or scenic value. This property fully meets those requirements, and it notes that parks and open space often increase the value of nearby properties. And one thing that really hasn't been explored is how the town could work with the developer to preserve or acquire the open space that's there on the site. And so the previous gentleman mentioned the trees there. You know, once you cut down trees, I'd say those pine trees are 100 years old. It takes another 100 years to grow them back. We have climate change objectives that need to be met. The state as a whole is trying to preserve open land and especially wooded land. One of the things that I investigated in the fall is that the state does have funding for parks. And this would be a great opportunity to expand the existing park. It's only 4 acres. We've got nearly 500 people in rental units nearby who don't have yards. They don't have any place to walk with their dog. They don't have any place to stroll a baby stroller. And this would be a perfect place for that. So I'd like to see that happen. I would comment that I do think the way that open space is described in this presentation is a little bit deceiving in the sense that it includes landscaped areas, and it even seems to include driveways, which certainly shouldn't be considered open space. And the landscaped areas look like they're very artificially landscaped, and there would be a loss of easily, 10 to 15 acres of actual woodlands in this as it's presented, part of which are trails that people have used.
Bring you a piece of pizza.
Excuse me?
So long, you got to ask people to mute. Somebody's talking about getting pizza for dinner. You got to ask everybody to please.
Yeah, I don't know why nobody else should be able to talk here.
Yeah, I think you muted everybody except the speaker, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, I would echo what Mary Kate Feeney said, but I would go further to say that the town really, before getting into a long discussion about developing, and certainly like the other folks who've talked, it seems just out of scale to literally double the number of units, rental units, or just units in general we have, recently developed or that we have locally, but really to look very seriously at funding for acquiring this land and expanding the city park, which, by the way, has a parking lot. It's available. It would be available to everybody in the city. It is available now. And I've put together a presentation that I shared with Conservation Commission that was very positively received, talking about the ecological values of this land. Right across Edmonds Road is habitat of high ecological value. I canvassed people in the Nobscot area. They've seen all sorts of wildlife just in their yards because the zoning is not dense. I think what you're hearing from people is they want to preserve this for exactly the reasons that are in the open space plan for ecological, recreational, and scenic value. And I urge the council to keep those values in mind and explore that actively. Thanks very much.